Good evening, vinyl community. Hi, hope everybody's doing well out there. My apologies for being away for a few weeks. A couple of reasons for that. Firstly, I haven't been asked, and secondly, I've had a bout of the worst toothache I think I've ever had. Started probably it actually started back in lockdown. I've got a molar at the back that's been filled God knows how many times. And my dentist wanted to crown it, and he was going to crown it, and then he changed his mind when I went probably a year ago. And of course, I should have gone for a checkup in April, but of course, it was deferred because of the COVID situation. And I bit on a nut, well, an almond to be precise, which I have a real penchant for. That, of course, nuts and teeth that aren't in the best condition aren't a good combination. And I knew straight away once I bit on it that it didn't feel right and it was painful. And yeah, it sort of grumbles away for weeks as they do, and then about middle of last week it was really painful. So I rang the dentist and they couldn't get me in until yesterday. Went along, and yeah, I've got to have it refilled basically, which is a good hour in the chair apparently. So I've never had that done before, but apparently they're going to destroy the nerve to do that, and then they fill in the amalgam in the gap, and it just sounds horrendous. Anyway, so I've probably got another couple of weeks of intermittent pain to put up with, but fortunately, I've discovered that the combination of a good red wine and cocodamol tend to at least keep it at bay. So at the moment, it's behaving itself, but I'm going to rattle through these final finds quite quick, just in case it decides to come on strong. Because if it does, I'm going to have to cut this short. So I'm sort of running the gauntlet here, but here we go. Okay, so these are just basically just a pile of records that I've bought over about the last 3 Saturdays. So starting off with a Grail. This is an album that I've been looking for years. Didn't think I'd actually own a copy of it, let alone a first pressing. And lo and behold, one showed up last week. This is Roy Harper's second album, Come Out Fighting Genghis Smith. This is on CBS Records, 1967. There's Roy on the back, looking very distinguished with his moustache there. And that's the inner sleeve. Apparently these are quite hard to come by. A lot of people who I've spoken to own this album say that their copies used to come in a plain inner. So this is obviously the CBS inner that came at the time, just promoting some of the kind of the acts and the albums that were available at the time. So you've got Marty Robbins on here, Woody Herman, Andy Williams, Byrds, Johnny Cash, obviously all on CBS. So Roy Harper, he's for those who aren't initiated, he's a bit of a maverick, to say the least. Certainly at the time that I'll put that back in a minute. Certainly at the time that this record came out, his stuff didn't sound like anybody else. He was quite influenced by musically by obviously Dylan. Lyrically, of course, like a lot of folk singers of that era, but also the finger-picking style of people like Bert Jansch and sort of Martin Carthy. There's a Bert Jansch actually does the notes the liner notes on the back here. And gives quite a nice recommendation to go out and buy the record. So, but yeah, I mean, Roy Harper, he was frustrating to the record companies because they were always looking for a single from him, and of course, he had no intention of playing the game. And in fact, the song that he wanted to put forward as a single off this, which was "Circle," which was the longest track on the album, is about 10 minutes. And this kind of like represents the first of his great epic songs, sort of story songs. He carry on with things like McGowan's Blues on Folk Joke Opus, which came after this, and sort of One of Those Days in England, and Lord's Prayer, etc., etc. So yeah, fantastic artist. One of our greatest folk singer-songwriters ever, in my opinion. And yeah, delighted to pick that up. Okay, next one is sorry, I'm going to put the light on here because the light's fading a bit. Oh, there you go, I'm all illuminated. Okay, so this is a reissue of Fotheringay. This was the project that Sandy Denny put together after she left Fairport Convention. This is a reissue. I think this came out. Sure when this came out. 2018, yeah. So it's quite a recent one. There's the band there, and Sandy on a 12-string. And the back cover. Reissue on that Pink Island label. And yeah, this is a lovely album. Obviously named after the track Fotheringay that Fairport Convention did, obviously before this. But yeah, lovely songs on this. Ballad of Ned Kelly, The Sea, Winter Winds, lovely version of The Way I Feel, Gordon Lightfoot song, and yeah, Peace in the End has got a nice sing-along one as well that she wrote with Trevor Lucas, who she co-writes some of the songs on this album. I think this was the only album that they released in Sandy's lifetime. I think the Fotheringay 2 was a sequel that came out, I think, in about 2008. And some of the tracks that were recorded for that session, she went on to put onto her first solo album, North Star Grassman and the Ravens, which came out, I think, the year after this in 1971. So lovely. Yeah, that's Fotheringay. Okay, next one, a bit of a novelty, but quite nostalgic for me. I had this, I'll just show it. This is Walt Disney's The Jungle Book. And yeah, I saw this in the soundtrack section, and I just said to Ben, I've got to have this. I always used to have the 7-inch version of that with this kind of storybook. It was like a book and then the 7-inch single in it. I think it was like a maxi single. I thought it was even 2, because obviously this is the LP version. Yeah, so this is the American version of this that came out. Okay, on the lovely pictures there from the film, Mowgli, and yeah, he's been raised by the wolves, and the monkeys coming and abducting him, as they do. Yeah, the book, this has obviously been well loved, because the book was obviously shown to whoever's child or children was enjoying this back in the day. There's sort of yellowed sellotape there holding it together. In fact, not all the pages are in here, but you know, when you think this came out in 1967 and it's ultimately been a kid's, you know, this has been in the hands of children. It's amazing it's still still together at all, but the record plays really, really nicely. And yeah, so it's on the Disneyland. There you go, Storyteller. And yeah, I mean, there's just the songs, the kind of jazz song on this. They're just so memorable, you know. You know, Bare Necessities and Trust in Me, Colonel Hath's March, I Want to Be Like You. I mean, they're just fantastic songs, and this still remains my favourite Disney film. I love that, and yeah, great memories of childhood. Okay, the next one isn't what you think it is. This is not the remastered reissue of Goat's Head Soup. This is just a new old copy, original UK issue that Ben found, because I had a copy of this, and it just was like a really quiet pressing, and you know, it's one of those ones where you have to kind of keep turning the volume up, and then you get loads of background hum and hiss through your amp. So this is a much better pressing, much quieter and louder. It's got the original inserts as well, so you've got obviously the head in the soup there, and the pictures and the credits. So yeah, that was nice to get. I'm still on. Will probably end up getting the new remastered version, because this is probably my favourite Stones album. I really enjoy that. So I've heard the bonus tracks, and the live tracks are really good on it. So okay, changing it up completely. I've always liked solo piano music, and this particular composer and these these pieces I've always really liked. This is Eric Satie, and this is Piano Music Volume 1, and the pianist is a guy called Frank Glazer. Not heard of him. Obviously familiar with the piece Trois Gymnopédies, which is beautiful. You know, you always kind of see that, you know, that you hear that music being played to like ballet and so on, and it really lends itself to that kind of very elegant kind of movement and so on. But yeah, beautiful, and yeah, really nice, and it was only a couple of quid, so yeah, really happy to pick this up. This is on the Vox Candide label, which I wasn't really familiar with, but sounds very nice. Okay, next one is a sort of VC staple. I've seen this shown a lot, particularly in the US. And the first time I heard this album, I didn't particularly like it, and then I reappraised it when Ben told me that he got a copy in, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. This is It's a Beautiful Day's debut. This is a UK first press, I think. Inner sleeve, a CBS label. And yeah, this is a really nice album. You got the obviously the male and female vocal up front, and the kind of flute on there, which gives it a kind of almost kind of ethereal kind of feel. yeah, really, really nice. White Bird, I really, really liked. Hot Summer Day, I think they might have been the singles off that. But yeah, husband and wife team, David and Linda LaFlamme, apparently. So yeah, I've sort of looked online. They've done a few albums, not heard the other albums. So if anybody wants to recommend to me any of their other albums, I'd be interested to hear. Okay, next one is a jazz album. Another dipping my toe in the water, as it were. I'm starting to get a little bit, going a little bit deeper as the weeks and months go by. So, but this was quite a cheap one. This is John Coltrane's Wheelin'. It's featuring Paul Quinichette and Mal Waldron. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, I mean, these names turn up again. Jackie McLean, Art Taylor, Doug Watkins. These sort of, and it says, striking examples of John Coltrane in a favourite early role as a blowing tenorman surrounded by like-minded colleagues for some relaxed, stretched out improvising. It's a valuable element in the overall picture of a jazz genius. And yeah, I did hear a bit of this in the shop, and it's lovely. So yeah, pleased to get that, and I'll be look forward to delving into that. Okay, just a couple more. This was a lovely find. I really, really like Asha Gilberto. Got quite a few of her records now, and this one is apparently quite a rare one. And this is a German copy of her album, September the 7th, 1969. I'm not sure whether that alludes to the date that it was recorded or not, but yeah, this is just fantastic. This is kind of Astrid with sort of jazzy, sort of almost going into kind of funk and psychedelia. The first side of this is superb, very, very kind of upbeat. Does a cover of Light My Fire, which is quite nice. And then the opening track, Beginnings, which is a Chicago song, I think, which was off the first album. It's an 8-minute kind of epic, and it's absolutely, absolutely wonderful. The second side's a little bit more mellow, a bit more restrained, but yeah, equally as interesting. Yeah, delighted to get that one. Okay, and the last one is an album that I've heard in the past, but rarely seen it really. And although sort of Tangerine Dream aficionados and enthusiasts have been showing this quite recently on the VC, this is Aqua by Edgar Frose. So this is his first solo album. So here's the gatefold. This is on, not sure this is original. I don't know whether the original are on the German Brain label, but this is obviously after Tangerine Dream had signed to Virgin. This is on the early Virgin label, but I can get it the right way around. You've all seen it before anyway. So. But okie doke, VC. So that's it. So yeah, that's just a bit of what I've been buying the last few weeks. Yeah, there's been some interesting videos put up recently. Even though I haven't been making any videos, I promise I do still watch and comment. So even though I do go some time without making a video, but I hope you're all keeping really, really well, guys, and enjoying your weekend. And yeah, I'll hopefully upload some more content soon. Cheers, guys. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.